Welcome to Sunday Afternoon Porch Sitting, where laid-back conversations come to life. I'm Will.
And I'm Ryan, and we're inviting you to join us as we unwind and explore the essence of life in each episode. British Airways, Flight 193, DFW ground, cleared to Heathrow, maintained VFR at or below 1500, departure frequency 118.5, squawk 4234, advise when ready to taxi.
British Airways, I didn't hear the flight numbers.
193.
Cleared through Heathrow as filed, squawk 41 something, and we'll advise when ready.
4134.
4134. Thank you, man. I forgot how to press buttons. It's been so long.
That read back was terrible.
Well, thanks. I got to practice doing it. I actually use an app to help me work on air traffic control lingo and how to talk and all that.
Do you put it in and it's like
no? It goes through a training, like explain why you're saying and how to do it, and it's like your practice exercise.
What are the 4 W's?
I'm sorry.
What are the 4 W's?
I don't know.
Who you are?
Yeah.
Who I am?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And what? And what?
I can't remember the other one.
I think it's what.
And what you're doing?
No.
What you want them to do.
Or what?
Yes.
No, but it's actually, it's a craft.
Who you are.
It's a call sign. Right. Oh, no, I forgot. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. Anyway, welcome to season 2. I think technically it's actually season 3 because we already started putting in as season 2 on stuff. I guess I can go back and switch that. Yeah. I mainly switched it because I lost count of what episode we were on as far as number. So anyway, welcome. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
How many times have you written 2024?
Actually, 2 times before I got back to work.
Just once, and I think I've only written it down once. So We'll see what happens the next time.
I actually messed up before New Year's. I had some paperwork I was trying to finish up for the following school year. And so I wrote 2024 instead of 2025 on the paperwork.
Well, but it was still 24, right?
Kinda.
But it was 425.
Yes.
Yeah, so we took a long sabbatical from basically Thanksgiving through Christmas and New Year's, and we're going to try to get back into it. So all of you faithful SAPS listeners, thanks for sticking with us, and hopefully you've been looking forward to this episode for a while, and hopefully it's not disappointing.
Sorry for the delay, Motzkemetrich.
Yeah, right. And also, Lorian Bagunas is one of my former students that listens. Anyway, yeah, so we have a great show planned for you today. Just like always, we talk about random stuff and just whatever kind of hits us in the moment. We don't plan for this at all other than, hey, do you want to record today? What time are you coming over? All of that.
Yeah. We did decide that we wanted a little bit of an evening after the afternoon on the porch. That was kind of the only contention.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I got confused by what you're talking about. Yeah, we didn't want this to take up our whole day, or we didn't want to end the day by doing this because today is Sunday. We're recording on a Sunday afternoon.
And I've got to go work out.
Yeah, you haven't done that yet?
With me.
Hey, will you tell the listeners what you're wearing?
I am wearing a sweatsuit, but it's a onesie.
It is so cool. And the zipper doesn't go vertical. It goes diagonal.
Yeah.
And it looks like
it
looks like you're wearing a hoodie and sweatpants.
This arm is one side of the
like
zipper, and this arm is the other side of the zipper.
That's interesting. But it seriously looks like a 2-piece that you're wearing.
It's very comfy.
Because it hangs over like that.
I got it on the Black Friday sale.
Where at?
The website's called Tuxy, Tuxy.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
I've heard of Untuck It.
I was a little sketched out because I think they're based out of Canada. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. Get some North American made products and stuff like that. And then when I got it, it was in a bag that was in all Chinese.
Yeah, I mean, everything's made in China. I mean, even patriotic gear is made in China.
Yeah, that's cool. I wonder how much of the patriotic gear for the inauguration coming up is made in China.
I'll be honest with you, and this has no bias in it at all. I guarantee you 80% of it.
Do you think they ship it in on the East Coast, or do you think they come up the Gulf of America?
There's no such thing. God, there doesn't need to be such a thing. It's such a stupid. That's important right there. The name of something.
Yeah.
Yeah. While we're at it, why don't we just go ahead and change the? Why are we calling it America?
Because, I mean, it's all the Americas. It's North America, Central America, and South America.
Gulf of the Americas.
That's basically what they're trying to say.
It's stupid. It's so dumb. It's like, seriously.
Yeah.
Why don't we change the name of the Tyrannosaurus Rex to Shell or Pennzoil or something?
I mean, it could be the official sponsor.
Man. So what have you been up to?
Yeah, living the dream.
I haven't seen you since, state marching contest?
Has it been that long? I don't know.
I don't think we've gotten together to record since then.
No, we did. We went to go see Kick Nelly.
Yeah, no?
Yeah, we did.
I don't think so. Did we? We didn't record, though.
We didn't record, but we hung out.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, because Scare Me Trickling came to hang out with us, too, for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I got a Brian's blueberry cheesecake.
Yeah, that's good.
And nachos. You partook in some nachos.
Yeah, I thought that was before state marching.
No, it was after. Well, there was one before and then one after.
Yeah.
Because
I did go over to Kick Nelly's house, but I didn't want to disrupt him or
Yeah.
disturb him or anything. I went over to his neighbor's house that had the, programmed light show. Yeah. It was pretty cool.
No, it was that same evening we made the We Listen and We Don't Judge video.
Oh, you're talking about that. I thought you meant like we went over to his house. That's right.
No.
We at E-Tex Brewery, and we did, we went to go listen to Kick Nelly's band.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I felt like a patriot when they started racking out the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, yeah, right. The who did that version with the electric guitar solo that everybody
I can't remember.
talks about?
It's not present.
Jimi Hendrix?
Maybe.
I think it was Jimi Hendrix.
We might have to look that up.
Yeah, we should probably look that up before we say it, but we're not going
Since
to
we're
because
being
that's
so
not what we do on
patriotic
this
and talking
podcast.
about America today.
Right, yeah. So what'd you do over Christmas? Did you get anything good for Christmas or anything like that?
Family time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Tennessee family time?
Mm-hmm. So I flew into Tennessee on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And then came back like the 3rd or 4th. I left on the 3rd. I take dollar store flights, Will. So like I'll go and buy the flights that are the cheapest. And I don't know why American does it the way that they do, because sometimes it doesn't make sense. This one kind of made sense because it's what we used to have to do before there was a direct flight from DFW to Tri-Cities Airport. So on the way back, I left at like 8:30, flew to Charlotte, North Carolina, and I overnighted there for 7 hours and then took a flight back from Charlotte to Dallas and Dallas to Tyler.
Did you overnight in the airport?
No.
Okay.
I used hotel points.
Yeah.
I got a hotel. And so that was a nice nap. I have this fear that people are going to steal my luggage like while I'm sleeping, or they're going to steal my passport in my backpack, or they're going to steal my wallet out of my backpack while I'm sleeping in the terminal.
While you're in the terminal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went and got a hotel room. But I will say that's not the weirdest one I've ever had. Like I had to fly from Tri-Cities to Charlotte, and then Charlotte to, where did we record at? Was it Birmingham, Alabama, or Montgomery? Maybe
No,
Montgomery.
it was Birmingham.
Yeah, Birmingham, Alabama. And then Birmingham to Dallas, and Dallas to Tri-Cities.
Yeah.
Or to Tyler. I didn't understand that one. I almost didn't get my luggage. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I had to get off the phone because they were calling my name over the loudspeaker.
Yeah. So what you said that's like the cheap flight, but when you say cheap flight, I'm thinking like Spirit or
No.
Frontier or something like that.
There's no other airlines out of Tyler.
Yeah, I know, but when you said that, that's
The
what I
only
thought.
other option that you have out of Tri-Cities is, well, you have Delta, and then there's Allegiant. But Allegiant only flies to Orlando.
Only?
Mm-hmm.
From Dallas?
From Tri-Cities.
Oh, from Tri-Cities. Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to go to Disney World.
Are they the only ones?
Yeah. At that airport, yeah. Allegiant does random things, like they've got a Las Vegas flight from Shreveport. I don't know if they go to Orlando or not.
So you can fly from Shreveport to Vegas?
Mm-hmm. Pretty cool.
Direct.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
You used to could fly to Denver direct from Tyler.
Yeah, I know.
Don't do that anymore.
No. Was it Frontier?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to take advantage of that because it was kind of cheap.
If you booked it right, you could get it for $29 on the way. Maybe
Okay,
one day.
So that's what you did over Christmas?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's it.
Now you're back into the swing of things?
Yeah, we chilled. Saw some of the hurricane devastation firsthand. That was pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, you sent me some photos of that.
My fishing spot's gone. And all the trees and the rocks.
Well, I mean, the water's still there.
Yeah.
All your shade is gone around it.
I don't know if the fish are still there. I didn't see any.
Now, they might be a couple of states away now.
Swimming in the Atlantic.
Yeah, what kind of fish?
Trout.
Oh, yeah, you fly fish. I forgot.
Yeah. And then there's some rock bass and stuff like that. But
yeah. Are there any rock lobster?
Yeah.
Rock lobster?
There are. Crawfish.
Oh. It is crawfish season.
But see, we don't call them crawfish in Tennessee, though.
Mud bugs?
Nope.
Crawdads.
Mm-hmm.
Crawdads. If it wasn't that, I was going to say crayfish.
Yeah, not crayfish, no. Crawdads. I don't know if they taste any better. Freshwater crawdads versus muddy, nasty, murky water crawdads.
I was like, they're all freshwater, technically.
Well, some water's a little bit cleaner than others.
Well, yeah, but it's not clean water. It's still freshwater.
Yeah.
Freshwater, salt water.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, why don't we say stagnant water?
Okay, sure. Moving water or stagnant water.
Moving freshwater versus stagnant freshwater.
Well, I spent some time with my family over Christmas. We didn't go anywhere or anything. We hosted both sides of the family over here, and I made pizza on Christmas Eve. Even though it was pouring down rain, I used the oven inside. Not the pizza oven inside, but I used my oven and pizza stone. Mm-hmm. Went up to my grandparents' estate.
In Gilmer?
Clarksville. Up there. Spent some time with my mom's side of the family.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, that's basically all I did over Christmas break. We just thawed out this weekend from the winter weather that we
were supposed to
have, but didn't have. If you're in Texas, or if you're in East Texas, I should say, if the meteorologist is threatening, well, he's not threatening, but if he's saying the weather is going to be bad, it's probably not going to be that bad.
And if he says it's not going to be that bad, it's probably going to be terrible.
Yeah, you're probably going to get 8 inches of snow versus what happened to us, which, I don't know. I was out of town. I was headed south during all of this, so I missed out on most of it. But I'd left early on Thursday as soon as precipitation started falling because they were talking about, hey, it's going to switch over. The roads are probably going to start getting bad. And I was just like, I need to get as far south as fast as I can before it potentially could get bad. But then, from my understanding, it never got bad. Roads never froze over, right?
Mm-hmm. Not really.
Just wet.
But after this monumental event, did you know that on this day in 1949, water first started flowing into the newly completed Lake Tyler?
Yeah, I did know that.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. I saw that earlier today.
On whose Facebook?
I don't remember who it was, but
Doc
it was
Deason.
Doc Deason, that was it. I do know 3 years ago. No, sorry, it's 25. So 4 years ago, it snowed on the same day that we were expecting snow. Did you know that? Because my Facebook memories showed up.
Did it?
I did that, yeah. So I was headed south. You're going to ask me what I was doing?
Let me guess.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
You went camping.
I went camping. I actually got down, because I got down there a little early. I was trying to kill time before I could check into the hotel.
Yeah.
So I went by the George Bush Library to see the new exhibit that I hadn't seen yet. Last time I was there, it was covered up, and they hadn't started building it yet.
Oh, 4141?
4141, the Union Pacific 4141, and the Marine One helicopter was in there too, and that was an awesome sight to see. I spent a couple hours learning about it and looking at it. It was just an awesome sight. I politics aside, I love Bush.
Yeah,
and W. Bush.
Isn't that pretty cool how they take a locomotive and change its number and just like commemorate somebody?
Yeah,
kind of like what they did with the Gulf.
Who were they commemorating?
I don't know. The Americas.
Oh my gosh! But yeah, it was
double standard. Will
it was cool to see them honor him in that, and he was actually the first one to drive it on a sanctioned track.
Yeah,
he hopped in and got to be the engineer for it. Stopped it in front of Kyle Field. Photo op, all that stuff.
That exact engine.
Yeah. Because they did an unveiling of it in 2005, I think it is, with the new paint job and everything. And it actually did like a tour across the country for a while until they decided that he wanted that to be part of his funeral. So then they put it into storage, covered it up, all that stuff to preserve it. And it didn't come out until he passed away.
I didn't know that. I thought they had done that just for his.
No, it was
funeral.
So apparently, like, presidents plan their funeral. Like, so like Carter, who just passed away, everything that went on was his plan on how he wanted his funeral to be and how it to go and all that stuff. So the train was part of Bush's plan.
I want a funeral train.
Yeah, it would be kind of cool, huh? But it was.
But I want the big boy, the 4014.
I'll see what we can work out.
Call Union Pacific.
If it's still around then. They also had the helicopter there, which I didn't know.
Was that his helicopter?
I think it was his.
Yeah.
They have a few of them because they have each president, when they use that helicopter, there's 2 other helicopters that fly that are dummies, that are supposed to help with safety, just in case somebody was trying to take one of them out. The chances of them getting the right one would be 1 in 3, I guess. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so that was what they had done, was they took it back to the place that restores those and builds those. They basically cleaned it up and took out all of the top secret military type stuff with it. And then they brought it to A&M and reassembled it there. And thing's massive.
Yeah.
And also looks really cool.
So did you anticipate it was going to be as big as what it was?
The helicopter?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't know it was going to be in there. The train was bigger than what I thought it was. But yeah, the helicopter was massive. The propellers, or whatever you call it. I guess it's still a propeller. You could walk under it and still have plenty of headroom clearance,
Yeah. I got to go in a cab of a train one time.
Yeah? You actually got to ride on one?
Mm-hmm. Like not far, but...
Yeah. Like the engine?
Yeah. I had some family members that worked at CSX.
Yeah.
And so there was a train yard in town, and my mom took me over there to let me go watch the trains one day, and one of the engineers was like, "Hey, come on for a minute. We're doing a yard move. Come here."
Well, we always, I always think about Amtrak, as far as like traveling across the country on train. I never think of Union Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, they got some like classic looking train cars that I guess they still use, but I never, in our area, we never see Union Pacific. It's always Amtrak. Yeah. Or if we see Union Pacific, it's usually hauling freight.
I think from what I've looked at, most major train companies have those old cars in their like heritage fleet that they'll still run. Like CSX has got their Santa train that's a big deal, so they've got some of those cars that they utilize. I've never seen Kansas Southern's, any of their stuff, or Norfolk Southern. I'll tell you, the biggest one that I still can't get over is like, I love the old Santa Fe bore bonnet style, like the red and silver. Mm-hmm. It's got yellow on it and stuff like that. And it's just hard for me to realize that the orange, black, and yellow on the BNSF is Burlington Northern and Santa Fe. So it's hard for me to think about that. But
you ever see that guy on TikTok, the British guy with trains? He's got the GoPro on his forehead looking down at his face.
And he's got some sort of weird camera angle.
And he's always like, oh, yes.
Yes.
I love it.
So apparently
the clock 9 is...
So apparently, I guess they've got names on all their locomotives there, too, because he keeps talking about the different dudes. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I always, I like trains and I like model trains and stuff, but I've never been like, oh, that's a class whatever, this type of train, steam engine, diesel. But yeah, I was in College Station for something that I've been trying to get into for 4 years. And it's called Camp Brisket. And it's a bunch of pitmasters from across the state. And
your number finally came up?
Yeah. A bunch of barbecue enthusiasts from across the world.
Do you have to be in the lottery? I'm sorry, do you have to pay to be in the lottery every year?
Yeah, you have to have a membership.
How much is the membership?
It's a Foodways membership, and I think it's $75 a year. And twice a year they put out a lottery. They put one out in the summer that you can enter for Brisket Camp, or Camp Brisket. And then they put out one in December for barbecue camp. Barbecue camp happens in the summer. Camp Brisket happens in January. They have a thing that it's so popular that what they did was they made the camp larger, invited more people to it, and they made a guarantee that if it's your fifth year of trying to get into the camp, then you automatically will go to that camp.
So do you automatically get in now?
No, I mean, because I just went, so
it starts over?
I don't know if in 5 years I can go again, or if I'm just on just whenever I get picked. But as far as barbecue camp goes, I think I didn't get selected this year. So I think next year is when I enter that I'll get to go to that. And it's held on the campus of A&M. Foodways Incorporated is a division of the UT Austin system, University of Texas system. And they collaborate with A&M's food sciences and animal sciences to put these things on. And it's just a thing that my wife found out about, and one Christmas it was a gift that she signed me up for it, and I finally got selected this year.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do they use A&M's own livestock for the meat?
I don't know. All of the beef this year was provided by Nolan Ryan Beef.
Even the Wagyu?
Yeah.
So, does he have a farm in Japan?
No, but that's just a breed.
Well, so he has Wagyu?
Well, I mean, it was provided by them.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if he raises those cows or not. But here's a little tidbit about Wagyu. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Wagyu beef it's not graded. Okay. So if you were to grade Wagyu beef, it would still fall under the select, choice, and prime of USDA. Wagyu could be select, like the lowest quality. Just because it's Wagyu doesn't mean it's always going to be, prime quality with that high marbling and whatever. All it is the breed. And same thing with Akushi. It's just the breed. So your prime briskets can be a little cheaper, but still the same amount of quality. So prime and choice, there's 3 levels. There's low, average, and high. So you got low choice, average choice, and high choice. And then same thing with prime. With select, it's just one that you're doing.
So is prime the highest?
Yeah, prime's the highest. High prime is the highest marbling and fat to meat ratio. And basically, if it has USDA select, choice, or prime on it, that packer paid to have that done, to have that graded. Everything's inspected by the USDA. It's mandatory. It's paid for by the taxpayers. If it's got that USDA prime, choice, or select on it, the manufacturer, not the manufacturer, but the meat plant paid for them to come in and do that extra stuff on top of it. And all they do is they kind of give a cut between the 12th and 13th rib and look at that ribeye. And that's how they grade the entire cow. So they don't take, here's the tenderloin or here's the brisket. Let me grade this particular thing. They just look at that one ribeye and grade the entire cow that way. So you could get a high prime cow, but let's say that you got the ribeye from like the second rib or something. Its marbling might be completely different. It might be worse. So that's how come sometimes you look in the meat case and you see that it says prime and you're looking at it and the select or the choice that's right next to it has a better marbling. That's why.
That makes sense.
So, and it's also subjective. There's not a definite, this is what it has to be.
So they just look at it and it's like they have to.
Yeah. So they're trained to kind of look, there's 7 categories kind of that they look at with the beef. And from that, they decide what it is. And then the yield grade kind of goes into it too. In other words, how much of this is going to be waste versus how much of this can be consumed. So if it has a high yield grade, there's a lot of waste with that. A lot of stuff that's not going to be consumed. And so basically they have to cut off extra to fit it in the box. They're not going to be able to put as much in that box. So with a lower yield grade, you're going to get a higher score too. So anyway, it's just some of the stuff that I learned about at Camp Brisket, along with how to maintain your fire, how to clean your pit, science behind barbecue, seasonings, different types of pits out there.
What is the one thing that you feel like you learned that was the most beneficial to you?
Oh, I think for sure the grading and how beef is graded, and basically from that learning how to shop and get the best cut of meat that I can, because I do think that has something to do with how it's cooked. However, during our blind taste tests, we could also find out that just because it's Wagyu beef doesn't mean that it's going to be a whole lot better than select beef. Because in my blind taste test, I didn't know what I was judging. I just knew that I was rating these 5 slices of beef. I didn't know that each one they were all cooked the exact same temperature, same seasoning, same trimming, same length of cook, all of that stuff. All I was doing, or basically what each one was one was select, one was low choice, high choice, prime, and Wagyu. And so I was putting them in order basically on tenderness and flavor, juiciness, and overall like or dislike of it. And I ranked blindly. I ranked the Wagyu as my top choice, and then my second one was actually select. So I found that interesting. I think the worst one was prime.
Was it really?
Yeah, but I mean, it was
As
still
an overall.
It was still good. Yeah, it just the slice that I had was a little tough.
So I think I know the answer to this, but which meal was your favorite meal?
Probably lunch of day 2.
I was going to guess the Chuck Wagon breakfast.
It was really good.
The biscuits and gravy?
Yeah. It was biscuits and gravy, grilled ham. You had a choice of corn or flour tortilla, ground sausage, sausage patties, scrambled eggs, cheese. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, smoked sausage that I think was a jalapeno cheddar. And also they had some salsa. Oh, and some pan-fried brisket. That was basically leftover brisket that was warmed up on the cast iron. But that was really, really cool.
Yeah. Is that guy at A&M or no?
The Chuck Wagon guy?
Yeah.
No. He's from Buffalo Gap.
Is his wagon a legitimate working wagon?
It is. Part of him, so for him to compete in the Chuck Wagon contest, your Chuck Wagon has to be an authentic Chuck Wagon. It can't have any screws, it can't have any plywood. It can only be used with materials that were around when Chuck Wagons were invented. So the one he has is actually, I think he said it was built by a company in like 1917 or something. And it's up to that standard where it has to have all this stuff.
How does he transport it?
On a trailer. I asked him that question. I said, how do you get from point A to point B? If you talk about you go all over the country with it. He's even taken it overseas as well to teach Chuck Wagon stuff to other countries. He's got a trailer for it, and when he's at home, it stays in the barn, in a climate-controlled barn, and he seasons the wood a lot, rubs it with, I think, linseed oil. That's what he uses. I can't remember exactly what he said, but, there's maintenance and care that goes along with it being over 100 years old. He did say, he's put a team of horses in front of it many times and had them still pull it. All of that. It still functions and works like it's supposed to.
That's cool.
Yeah. But he had a tent set up just like it was in the old days, right on the back of this Chuck Wagon. And we had
Did he make Dutch cowboy coffee?
Yeah, he did.
Was it good?
Man, that was so good. The smell of it, the aroma smelled like a campfire.
Was it gritty?
The bottom of it was a little bit. But there was, I can't remember the name of the coffee company. I'll show you later. They were there, based out of Houston, and they were brewing all of the coffee and the iced tea for each day. And they were giving away coffee beans and stuff.
Did you get
ground
some?
coffee. Yeah, I got 2 bags. Anyway, so they were good. I don't remember where I was going with that story. Oh, I started off the morning. I had a cup of their coffee and then went outside because this is where the breakfast was. And it was freezing cold. And then that's when I saw the coffee pot over the fire, and I saw people going up and asking if they could have some, and he'd pour some out for them. And so I was like trying to down this coffee that was pretty good just so I could go over and try that before it ran out. So I was happy I got to try that. It was good, warm, wonderful flavor.
Better than the brewed coffee?
No, I mean, it was just different.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have, I actually, and I can't remember the name of this place. There's a coffee shop that I went to that I think is a local place in College Station over near the Star Cinema Grill. I got a honeybee latte. And so it had like honey and vanilla flavored latte. It was really, really good.
You're going to have to cut that out.
Why?
Because, you're on a diet.
Monday. Today's Sunday. I'm starting that diet tomorrow. How's your diet going?
Fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no sugar, no bread, no gluten, none of that kind of stuff. Eating healthy, clean.
Bread is the part that gets me. Like, I thought going, keto. I thought doing keto would be great. And then I just realized, man, I want that carb. I need
But
that
there's
carb.
a lot of things that you can do, though. Like this morning, I made eggs and put some sauce on them and had a couple slices of bacon. And
yeah. But do you
went
know
on about it?
Do you know how much Mexican food has carbs in it?
Not much.
Still does, though.
If you take the flour tortillas out,
No,
there's no gluten.
Gotta have them. Even the chips?
Yeah, it's corn chips. So
Corn
there's
chips
no
are
gluten.
okay.
I don't have them all the time, but
So I could have a crispy taco.
technically, yeah. If you wanted to go gluten free, now you gotta, I still would look.
No,
at
it's
the amount of
carb free
carbohydrates,
with
isn't it?
keto, isn't it?
Keto. Well, the big thing about keto, I don't know. Somebody could cut me back on this one, but I think it's just the amount of sugar that they use to prepare things. Because I mean, there's a lot of sugar in flour dough too, a lot.
Well, my diet is going to be watching what I eat, trying to keep track of it, both calorie intake, just trying to start small with that. And then I'm planning on basically walking or running 30 minutes every day.
Yeah.
And trying to
How
make
many
sure I get
times
that.
have you ran?
Twice.
Have you really?
I did Monday and Tuesday this week.
How'd that go?
It went well. I did a mile both times.
Yeah.
Jogged, walked a mile both times. And I got up early in the morning to do it. It was freezing cold on Monday. It was a wind chill of 6. Actually enjoyed it, except for my eyes kept watering. That was the only downside.
Yeah.
And then I didn't do it on Wednesday because it was like the first day of school back. And I was like, ugh, I don't have the energy today.
Yeah.
So I took a break from that. And then Thursday I didn't, because I didn't get much sleep because I was up. I was kept waking up almost hourly, checking the weather and making sure that I wasn't going to get stuck.
Did you work out while you were at Camp Brisket?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. Worked on lifting
Your suitcase into the car.
the heavy plates that they had. I did get a small workout when I carried my free bag of Kingsford charcoal from the facility to my car.
Are you sad that I didn't call you at the hotel?
No, I'm not
After
actually.
Got that information
I'm
from. Do you
not.
know how long I was sitting on that room number trying to find a way to get the name of the hotel?
Oh, you didn't know the hotel I was staying at?
I did at the end because I'm like,
Oh.
okay, now what was the name of that other place? And like we started talking about it, and then you let your guard down and you told me that you're at the Home 2 Suites. And I was like, room 420, right? And you're like, gosh, darn it. I was fishing hard, man.
Calvary Court was the other hotel I stayed at by Valencia Hotels.
Yeah.
That was so nice. I want to go back and just stay in that hotel. It was just really cool.
Yeah. Have you seen any good movies lately?
No, I actually haven't. Well, I mean, we watched, is it Red One? That has Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Chris Evans in it. That was, and J.K. Simmons. That was actually pretty good. I was impressed. Or not impressed, I'm sorry. I was surprised that I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah. You know which one that I was surprised that I enjoyed, but I really, really, really liked it?
What?
Wicked.
I knew you were going to say that.
It was phenomenal.
I'm not surprised you enjoyed that. I knew you would love it. You loved Willy Wonka or whatever it was.
So you haven't watched Wicked yet?
No, I've seen the musical.
Well,
I haven't seen
watch the movie.
I haven't seen the movie.
The movie's really good.
I'm sure it is.
Cynthia
Musicals-
Erivo.
Yeah, she's great.
Oh my gosh.
She's not Idina Menzel, but she's good.
Actually, I watched a video on TikTok
Yeah.
with Idina Menzel.
Mm-hmm.
And
Adele
they were-
Dazeem.
Huh?
The wickedly talented Adele Dazeem.
And so they sat down and they were talking, and she was like, girl, you brought that performance more justice than I ever could.
Yeah, she's being kind.
Well, I'm telling you, you need to watch it.
No, I'm gonna watch it at some point, but
Yeah. Her rendition of I'm Not That Girl, that's hands down my favorite song in the movie.
yeah.
I liked Defying Gravity. I liked the build up to the very end. I mean, it was phenomenal. But I'm Not That Girl was hands down my favorite.
I'm not downplaying her performance at all.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's two.
It's two different generations.
It is.
Also,
It's two generations.
One
and
was
it's
like 20
two
years ago.
respective performances. But I will say this:
and one has had 20 years to listen to the original and to try to top it, whatever.
Yeah.
I would like to see somebody that does like a cover song and is more successful with it, to like, if we could go back in time and let them be original, have that original idea come up and then see what they come up with.
Yeah. So those covers of that song have been phenomenal too. But man, supposedly all of the music in that movie was live. So like, even,
supposedly, yeah.
Even her doing like the Cynthia Erivo did her own stunts in the movie too, and she was singing while she was doing the stunts, and I was like, holy moly.
She flew.
Yeah. She did her own flying, like for the Defying Gravity scene.
My thing is this, like Les Mis, the movie, right? I was super disappointed in it because, not because they were singing live, but because of the casting in it. There was one person cast in the wrong role.
Who was that, do you think?
It was Javert, Russell Crowe.
Oh, yeah.
Was awful.
I did not enjoy him being in that role.
He ruined the entire thing for me. And the director of cinematography, you spent all this money building these awesome sets and everything, and you kept the camera straight in their face for 80% of the movie. That ruined it for me. My favorite musical of all time, over Wicked. And I was just so disappointed. So looking forward to it because I was like, oh man, they're legit singing live. No, redubbing or anything like that. Hearing that and how they sing live, and I think Into the Woods may have done something similar to it, but I don't believe that there wasn't a post-production, hey, we need you to come back in and re-sing this part, like studio record this part. Just because I don't think that they can get the audio vocals clear enough to where it doesn't sound like you and I on this podcast, the background noise, the pops, hiss, whatever. Maybe there's a way they can engineer that out.
Yeah.
But like listening to, now I haven't watched the movie. I've listened to part of the soundtrack, and it doesn't sound like it's live filming, recording voices,
My favorite part of that soundtrack, though, I listened to the end quite a bit, that epilogue or whatever.
Defying Gravity?
No, Les Mis.
Oh, Les Mis, yeah.
Now, I will tell you this. I will be booking a flight to New York when The Greatest Showman comes out on Broadway because I want to see that so bad.
I almost pulled the trigger. If I didn't make Camp Brisket, like if I hadn't already committed to doing that, which, by the way, if you get selected for Camp Brisket, you have to pay to attend it. Like it's not you just entered the lottery and you got selected, you go for free. You still have to pay to go. So you can tell them I can't afford it right now, can't go, whatever. And it's $495 to attend the camp.
Yeah. Which that's not bad for what you get to do.
Oh, for the knowledge you get with all, I mean,
if it's something you really enjoy.
They had 10 pitmasters there or owners of barbecue joints that have been on the Texas Monthly Top 50, and the majority of them in the top 10. So that it's legit, that they know what they're doing, all of that. Tootsie was there also from Snow's Barbecue, and also, I can't remember the other pitmaster from Snow's, but he was there too.
Is Tootsie that old lady? Oh, yeah. I was going to ask about her.
Yeah, I'm glad that I didn't wait to go up and say hi to her and get my picture with her because she left pretty much at lunch to get back to Lexington to work. She's got a documentary, or there's a Pitmasters documentary on Netflix, and the first episode is about her.
I watched it. Yeah, it's good.
And I told her, I was like, I watched it. It was just blown away by everything she does, and she's such an inspiration. So kind to take time out of her day to hang out with us and meet us and everything. So
she seems pretty laid back in that documentary, but she's also runs a pretty tight ship too.
Oh yeah. So I've got I met some people that I'm hoping I can continue to network with, and maybe we can get them on the podcast sometime and talk about their lives and a little bit of barbecue. But as soon as I got back from that trip, first thing I wanted to do was go to the store to look at beef and to maybe buy some and come home and start cooking it. But I didn't want to eat it. In fact, I really don't want to eat barbecue for probably another month. There's so much of it.
Take a little bit of a break.
A little bit. But also I don't feel bad when they were doing the taste test with the stuff, and you got these pit masters that are serving you, cutting the beef for you and feeding you, and just watching them, and post cook, they're still kind of trimming some stuff off that they're not going to serve. And I was like, yeah, I'd do the same thing. So there was also a lot of, hey, I do that. I've been doing that, so I'm doing right.
Yeah. So any other interesting news lately?
No, one of these days I am going to watch Wicked. I know there's some people shocked that we haven't watched it yet, but it's such a long commitment to watch it.
It is 2 hours and 41 minutes.
Yeah, that's like watching the full musical, and this is only half of it, right? It's only like half the first act.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness!
The next one comes out at the same date of release as the first one.
Yeah, maybe I'll watch the first one by then. I'm not sure.
So there was some big news in Poland.
What was the big news?
Days ago.
Hitler invade again?
No.
Is Trump wanting to buy it?
A high-ranking general accidentally lost anti-tank missiles. You know where they found them at?
Russia.
In a warehouse at IKEA.
You're kidding.
No. Oops.
Were they trying to put it together?
Yeah, I don't know. It would have been pretty interesting to see how that turned out. I mean, how does one react when they see a bunch of anti-tank missiles like they're trying to put together cabinets for the kitchen?
I need you to be IKEA customer service for a second, okay? Bring.
Thank you for calling IKEA customer service. My name is Rashid. Can I help you?
I thought you guys were based in Switzerland. Where are they from?
No, I'm just kidding, man. Hey, this is IKEA. This is Roland. Can I help you?
Hey, Roland. Nice to meet you. My name's Will, and I was on your website, and I ordered a new desk for my computer room.
Yeah.
Well, the box came in. It's a little bit larger than I was expecting, and it's got explosive markings on the outside of it. Dangerous. And I open it up, and I'm trying to figure out how I turn this into a desk. It seems kind of dangerous. Do you want me to describe it to you?
You realize you're calling IKEA, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So sounds like somebody's trying to scam you.
Does it?
Yeah. Can I have your order number?
31314-006.
Okay. Let me look. I'm actually not showing an order number with that.
Well, it's got, I think it's the Polish flag that's on these, it looks like missiles here. And is this right?
Sir, I would recommend you hanging up and calling 911.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 999. That would be the Polish number. I think it's 999. Is that what they use in Europe?
There's a Polish I'm sure there is. But all of Europe uses the same number? It would track that we use something completely different than Europe. That they have something completely different.
I'm sorry. Please hang up and dial 112.
112. I would be so lost in those countries. You know what? Travel tip for all our listeners. If you're traveling abroad, make sure you know the 911 for the country that you're going to. Store it in your phone.
Yeah.
Store it as 911 in your phone.
Or just travel with somebody from that country.
Or that too. Like
make a haptic have the medical emergency.
Make a haptic that when you dial 911 on your phone, that it actually dials this number instead.
Had I not had my sister or her husband with me when I was in Italy,
yeah,
it
Ciao.
would have been terrible.
Bella, scusi.
Because everybody spoke Italian and not many of them spoke good English.
Yeah. Are you trying to learn any kind of foreign language?
I started learning German.
What are you using?
Rosetta Stone.
Oh, you're using Rosetta. I'm using Duolingo.
Yeah, I started with
I'm on a 37-day streak.
Yeah. With what language?
German.
Are you real?
Yeah. What do you want to practice?
Have you learned Fräulein yet?
Fräulein?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you my friend?
This is terrible.
Wo ist die Wasser?
I don't have water around here. It's just Dr. Pepper. 0.
No, I was asking where it was.
It's right here.
Where's the water? It's not water.
I'm just saying it's right here, but
I
it's
don't
not
understand
really like water.
I can only understand German.
Mein Kampf.
Oh my god! Now I've learned things like cook and swim and Speisekarte.
How do you say
Gulf
of America in German?
Oh my god!
I'm gonna look that up.
Gulf of America. Well, America is America in German, and Canada. You only have if you were saying France, you'd say something like Frankreich, Deutschland. Österreich.
Speaking of trips,
yeah. What are you doing? Your phone's connected to Bluetooth.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Try it.
I don't have Bluetooth on. Oh, it is.
Golf von Amerika.
Golf von Amerika.
I told you.
Okay, now it is. So, played the most epic prank on my grandmother while we were in Tennessee. Did I tell you about that at all?
You kind of did. You said one or two things that you and Jimmy were up to.
Yeah, so I was hanging out with Jimmy. And
does this have to do with drinking?
No. But it has to do with, yes, it did have to do with drinking. We believe in brain farts, right? And so, we wanted to mess with my grandmother a little bit. Now, I need to give you a little bit of history on my family, okay? My family is pretty wild, okay? I'm not going to name names or anything like that, but there have been people that have been arrested for DWIs, and those types of things.
Yeah.
And, I've got some family members that, like I said, no names, but they were in jail at the same time as their father for different charges. So it's one of them got in jail for DWI, and they show up and they're like, "Dad, what are you doing here?" So anyway, there's a bunch of funny things. So I don't put it past my grandmother to think that we could make some bad decisions and need, bailed out or whatever. So I had been seeing those things on TikTok where people would call using Google Translate, and they would be like, "You're receiving a call from the Unicoi County Jail from inmate," and then you'd say like Ryan McInturf.
Yeah.
To accept this call, please press 1. Okay. So my sister, we 3-wayed her, and she was over at her house because Jimmy and I were dying laughing about this, and I told her to pull it up on her computer, and she opened up 2 different tabs or whatever. So the first one, she pulled it up and she says, "You're receiving a call from inmate." And then while I was saying Ryan McInturf, she was flipping over to the next
She's getting ready
tab.
to do the next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To accept this call, please press 1. Okay. So I wanted to see how my granny would react because I'm like the golden child and I didn't, know what would happen. So anyway, we made the phone call and, forwarded my granny on there, and she answers and stuff like that. And so with the iPhone, you have to wait for somebody to answer before you can merge the call. So it's kind of this awkward, like, "Ryan, what are you doing?" Because my granny's phone at home, we don't have it open to where anybody can just call her. You have a set number of numbers that can call into her house. So, because she was getting so many of those Medicare fraud calls, she couldn't remember, it would make her so mad and upset because she trusts these people. So anyway, the call was coming from my phone. So when she answered the phone, she's like, "Ryan, you little stinker, I know it's you." And so Angel played that message, and she's like, "Wait a minute, what?" And so it said, "Ryan, are you there?" And she replayed the message again. "To accept this call, please press 1.
So you're waiting for her to go beep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Ryan," I can't say what she said because it was funny, but she was like, "Ryan, you little turd, and my sister hit play again on it, "To accept this call, please press 1. And she was like, "I just want to talk." And you hear beep. And I was like, "Granny." "Ryan, what is going on?" I was like, "Jimmy and I decided we were going to ride around town for a few minutes." And I said, "We got arrested. We got booked here at Unicoi County for DWI." She's like, "Oh, Lord." I was like, now she hasn't driven in like 7 or 8 years. And I was like, "Do you think you could come pick us up?" And she's like, "Yeah, but I have to see if this car will start." She says, "I haven't run it in a while." I said, well, hurry. And so Jimmy in the background starts yelling like somebody's fixing to find him, and he's like cussing at this person in the background. And my granny's like, "Ryan, you tell Jimmy to shut up. I don't want him to be killed in jail." I was like, "Okay, but Granny, they're not letting me pay bail because they're not going to give me my wallet and stuff like that. Can you bring bail money?" She says, "Yeah, I'll bring my checkbook."
Oh my God. So how far did it get?
We got about 8 minutes into this conversation, and finally I was like, she's going to get it on her mind and forget that, we're probably joking around and trying to go get her car and start it. So my sister's like, "Granny, we're kidding." She's like, "I hate y'all." But she talked about it for days, so she remembered. It was so funny.
Y'all are terrible.
It was good, though.
That's why I can't ever trust anything that you say to me, because I don't know what I'm being played for or what's real.
There's usually always an angle.
So what's our plan for this season? What are we gonna? I felt like we spent a lot of time last season talking about planes and pizza.
Yeah, well, we talked about coming up maybe with some sort of schedule of things that we're going to talk about and discuss.
Did we?
Yeah.
I didn't remember talking about that.
Yeah, to kind of focus our podcast and gear it towards something.
Yeah, we kind of probably should not diversify it so much.
Yeah. Maybe Quebec Renz will join us.
Maybe. Like, I'll bring the recording equipment down to TMEA, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We have something this time to call in.
Well, we've got a progress update that we could do because we're all kind of doing.
You're right. We're doing a challenge.
The Get Healthier challenge.
Yeah.
Is everybody continuing it past TMEA, or is it just the check-in at TMEA?
Let me just see. No, because at TMEA we're supposed to celebrate. So it's, whatever we're doing, no alcohol, all that stuff until TMEA. And then I think when we get to TMEA that we're going to celebrate with some responsible beverages and all that.
Whose progress are you the most shocked about right now?
Shocked?
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm shocked by anybody because I hadn't seen anybody posting their
Hands
progress.
down progress, I say Renard Posenberg.
Oh, man.
He's
with
been
all
killing it.
Yeah.
Killing it.
When he said how many miles he walked last year?
Well, when I saw him at state marching contest, I was like,
Yeah.
dude's looking good.
Yeah. So I almost, this is kind of a segue off of that a little bit, but in the same subject. But I noticed that there's these like walking challenge things that you can do.
The ones that you get medals for and stuff?
Yeah.
Those are
like
pretty cool.
Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, all that stuff. Well, I've always been interested. If I ever went to New Zealand, I'd want to do the walk to Mordor.
Yeah.
Like, starting off where they filmed the Shire all the way until where they filmed, as part of the Mordor scenes. But anyway, there was a Rooster Teeth way back in the days, probably like 2008 or 9.
Yeah.
That a couple of their guys did that walk. They dressed up like hobbits, had the hobbit feet, and it was a bad mistake. Anyway, seeing that they did something like this, like you walked like 207 miles and they send you the Shire medal thing, whatever. But then I looked at the price tag and I misread it. It's like $50 for the first one. But if you want to do the whole Fellowship of the Ring series thing, then it's like $200. And I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah. I got a really nice text message from New Zealand the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want you to come visit, eh?
Well, I've got a former student that I had at the first school I taught at. And so anyway, I hadn't talked to this individual in years. He's a pretty talented musician, and he's still doing music, which is really cool. But I taught with his mom. His mom was a math teacher, and his dad was a doctor. They came to Texas with Mercy ships. And so anyway, there's the big training facility and headquarters for Mercy ships that exists, on 110 going into Van. And
outside of Garden Valley.
Yeah, and so you had a large amount of international students that would come, to that school,
right,
for Mercy ships. And so anyway, I had known that most of them had moved back to New Zealand and stuff, but I hadn't kept up with anybody and this has been years, and just out of the blue, I got a text message that, hey, Wick Nilkerson, gave me your number, and I hope you don't mind, and stuff like that. And we just started chatting it up and sent me some music and all this kind of stuff. And it was really
that sounds
just
pretty
kind of
cool.
reconnect with people.
Yeah. When they're halfway across the world.
Yeah.
Or
And
all the way across the world.
still doing something that they love that you kind of, share. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's cool.
That you had a hand in and kind of igniting that passion, maybe.
I don't know about that, but
Or keeping it going.
yeah.
Helping to fuel it or something.
So
Yeah, that's awesome. It's always cool to hear from former students and what they're doing.
yeah, he told me,
nowadays.
he was like, and a good saxophone player, and stuff like that. Started him on saxophone, but he's like, I just bought another saxophone again because I want to start playing again. I was like, well, that's cool. But he's been doing, all kinds of other studio recordings, piano, and he's actually teaching theory now.
Music theory. That's cool.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
If I had my choice, if I could stay in the same field, like I'd want to do music theory.
Yeah.
I'd rather teach that than band.
Really?
I just feel like it's easier. Like, and I'm not depending on somebody else's
Performance.
I was going to say work ethic.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed our first episode
Of
season
2025.
season 3.
Yeah, we'll go
Question
through
mark?
season 3.
Sure.
This is just
We don't know what we're doing.
Take the plaster off.
Yeah.
Do you know what a plaster is?
Yeah.
What?
It's stuff that you put on the walls.
Absolutely not.
What?
It's a Band-Aid.
Oh,
That's what they call them in England. Plasters.
that's interesting. Never heard of that. What do they call cigarettes? Anyway,
So
we're
we
getting canceled
really
this year.
we that's the goal. Canceled in 2025. But I can't wait to we need to book a cruise and do like a cruise and record the show on the balcony of a cruise ship, like on the porch. We could do coming live from the Gulf of America.
Nope, we're not going there. I don't want to. Nope, not doing a cruise there.
Gulf of Bucky's.
Alaska. I want to do an Alaskan cruise or a European cruise, like a Viking cruise or something.
Yeah.
That'd be
I
cool.
don't know, man. It would be cool. I don't know if I want to do a Viking cruise because I don't know how into just river cruising I would be.
I don't want hot weather cruises.
Yeah.
I want cooler weather, cold weather.
I think I would
because
rather
don't like
do
the hot.
like a Mediterranean cruise or something in the ocean. I don't
Okay,
know
I
that I
would do
want to
that.
do like a river cruise.
You get to see more of the countries.
You do, but you don't get the entertainment value that you would on a cruise ship because they're smaller ships.
That's not why I want to cruise, though.
But it's a pretty cool part of it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
What are you pointing me for? Do I have something?
Yeah, you're supposed to say the...
Oh, that thing. Well, thanks for joining in with us this afternoon. And as the sun sets on another Sunday afternoon porch sit, we appreciate you all and sharing this journey with us.
Until next time, stay relaxed and enjoy the simple moments.
You thought I was going to forget.
We did forget.